Earlier this morning, the Pittsburgh Steelers fired offensive coordinator Matt Canada. But what does that mean? Well, that means that he's gone, but now there's an opening at the offensive coordinator position for the Steelers. And who will fill that role? Who will be the offensive coordinator, and who will be calling the plays to get this offense going? Well, earlier in the morning, once the Steelers fired Matt Canada, it was reported by Tom Pelissero and Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network that there was no official announcement, but the understanding was the Steelers were expected to have running back coach Eddie Faulkner take over as the offense coordinator, with quarterback coach Mike Sullivan handling the play calling duties. So that was a report. And then Mike Garafolo, he also reported that Mike Sullivan and running back coach Eddie Faulkner will work together to assume the role as the offensive coordinator and basically work throughout the week to prepare the game plan and stuff of that nature. But Sullivan would be calling the plays on game day. And then, just recently, Mike Tomlin, he had his official press conference that he basically has every Tuesday, kind of recapping the game from the previous week and then also talking about the upcoming week. So that's what he did today. He was talking about the Browns game, but then also previewing the game against the Bengals. But since this move just happened with Matt Canada, he fielded a lot of questions about the offensive coordinator position, and he answered most of all of us' questions. Here's what he had to say. Before he started receiving questions, he started off by saying, "I'm excited about Eddie Faulkner coordinating our efforts, organizing staff responsibility in meetings, organizing game planning, leading our unit as a collective in review of our tape in preparation of our upcoming opponents and things of that nature. Things that a coordinator does, he has full authority in that regard and my full support. And then from a play calling perspective, the bulk of that responsibility will fall on Mike Sullivan. And that's also really natural things because he's done it in two different locations in the National Football League. He has a tangible experience. And also, and probably more importantly, as a QB's coach, he works closely with Kenny, looking for fluidity in that area." So that was his quote on those two coordinating the Steelers offense. But based off just his words and what it seems like the official title as offensive coordinator, or at least interim offensive coordinator, will go to Eddie Faulkner. It sounds as though he's the actual offense coordinator, but the guy who's actually calling the plays will be Mike Sullivan. So it's interesting to see how that works, because usually the guy who's calling plays is their offense coordinator, unless when the head coach calls the plays. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two work together, but I'm not complaining. It was a good thing that the Steelers fired Matt Canada, and it was a long time coming. So just looking at these careers that Mike Sullivan and Eddie Faulkner has had, you look at Mike Sullivan, and he served as the Steelers quarterbacks coach since 2021, a long-time NFL coach with coordinator experience and having stints doing it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Jets. His ascension to a larger role was expected if Matt Canada was fired because of these roles that he's had with the Jets and the Bucs as their offensive coordinator. And then just looking at Eddie Faulkner and his past and what he's came from, you look at Eddie Faulkner and he's been the team's running backs coach since 2019. And he helped develop undrafted free agent, obviously Jaylen Warren, who is breaking out into his second season. And now he'll take on a larger role. His impact appears to be more felt behind closed doors and stuff in the locker room, but on the field, it'll be Mike Sullivan. Eddie Faulkner, he doesn't really have experience calling plays or being an offense coordinator. He was not any offensive coordinator in the NFL, so you see why Mike Sullivan is calling the plays and Eddie Faulkner is just kind of the leader behind the closed doors. I guess that's what the Steelers see. They see Eddie Faulkner as more as the outspoken guy who could be the leader in the locker room as the offense coordinator, and then they see the veteran experience that Mike Sullivan brings actually on the field actually calling the plays and being in the quarterback's ear based off his past experience. So looking at these two's past, you see how Mike Tomlin, Art Rooney, and the Steelers came to the conclusion of these two guys taking over. So at this point, I know you guys are probably thinking and probably mad that maybe the Steelers, even though they moved on from Matt Canada, that they're not looking at outside options at the offense coordinator position. And Mike Tomlin even said that he has not even thought about an outside option as offense coordinator. But I'm here to tell you that at this point in the season, going into the second half and even the last quarter of the season, with the Steelers' record at 6-4, week 11, it's too late to look at outside options. There's no way at this point in the season that the Steelers could bring in an outside offense coordinator, have them make a whole offense in midway through the season and into the last quarter, especially going on a playoff run. There's no way the Steelers players are going to be able to learn a whole offense in a week and incorporate it into the Steelers game plan. There's just no way of that happening. That's for the offseason. So if you're expecting the Steelers to bring in a new guy from a different team or even college to be the offense coordinator for the Steelers, you're at least going to have to wait till after the season, because there's no way they're going to be able to do it now and incorporate a whole new offense for every single offensive player to learn with all new schemes and stuff of that nature. So what's really going to be going on is Mike Sullivan, Eddie Faulkner, they're going to look at the game plan, they're going to look at the offensive playbook that Matt Canada has and make adjustments from there. It's still going to be most of the plays that Matt Canada has, but it's going to be a new guy calling it. So there's going to be different situations and better play calling in certain situations, or worse play calling in certain situations. It's just a different guy calling different plays. It's not really different plays, but it's calling the plays at the right time or the wrong time. And that's what the Steelers are going to have to work on now with Mike Sullivan and Eddie Faulkner. But if you're expecting a different offense coordinator, you're going to have to at least wait until after the season, because there's no way that they were going to be able to do that now. But just looking at Matt Canada and what he's come from and why the Steelers fired him. So looking at Matt Canada, he was in his third season calling plays for the Steelers and his fourth on the staff in total. He was also the quarterback's coach back when Ben Roethlisberger was here. So including the 2020 season as a quarterback's coach, his previous 25 seasons were spent coaching in the college game, including a successful stint as the Pitt Panthers coordinator in 2016. And Canada parlayed that into a significant pay raise and job where he became the offense coordinator at LSU. But he was fired after just one season, and in 2018, Canada was the interim head coach at Maryland. And that is when he basically built that connection with Mike Tomlin and his son Dino, who committed to play for Maryland, and basically he got him a job and kind of a role on the Maryland squad. And that's how Mike Tomlin and Matt Canada kind of built their relationship based off Tino, Mike Tomlin's kid, being on the team and Mike Tomlin being at the games. So in 44 games with Canada as a Steelers offense coordinator once he was hired, and as a play caller, the Steelers never reached over 400 yards of total offense. That's both passing and running combined. And in 17 of those games, the Steelers' offense had not even reached 300. So his offense averaged 17.9 points per game in his two and basically half seasons with the Steelers as the offense coordinator. And just for kind of some comparison, under Randy Fichtner, who also got fired by the Steelers back in 2020, he averaged 26 points in 2020 alone. That's his final season with the team. And just twice in those 44 games for Matt Canada, he also only reached 30-point barrier, over 30 points just twice. And both of those games where they reached it came in losses. So the past 3 weeks, Canada coached from the sidelines after being in the box for basically his whole play calling stint, both in college and in the NFL. He's usually been in the box up above, but he was on the field, and it never really kind of materialized. The Steelers won 2 games in a row, but They just have not been good either way. People kind of started saying, sideline Canada, is such a good play caller. Well, he wasn't. It was just that the Pittsburgh Steelers are winning, and winning kind of cures everything. But it never materialized, and the Steelers still rank 28th in a 32-team NFL league in both yardage with 280.1 yards per game and scoring with 16.6 points per game. In any of Canada's 3 seasons, the highest the Steelers have ranked in points or yards per game in a 32-team NFL league is 20th, and that came in 2021. So you see that, and you just see the numbers that I'm reading to you. I'm going through his whole career with the Steelers, with Panthers, with Maryland, LSU. He's been fired basically after 1 season of each of his college careers. He's moved on, and now with the Steelers, he's fired as well. And you see the Steelers, points per game, yards per game, they're almost dead last in the league. And you look at it and you wonder how he lasted even 3 seasons with the Steelers. And I personally thought it might have even been a 4th. So the Art Rooney, Mike Tomlin, they made the decision and fired him. And that's the best case scenario for the Steelers. And now at least gives some hope moving forward. If he stayed as the offense coordinator, there would have been no hope. The season has been lost. But now with him fired, it at least gives some hope for the Steelers fans and even the players that were complaining. Some hope that the offense could turn around and the Steelers could win some games. Because the problem is now gone. And now, Kenny Pickett, we need to see if he was actually the problem. But that's the end of this video. Let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about the new offense coordinators being Eddie Faulkner and Mike Sullivan? Do you believe they should have brought in an outside guy this late in the season, or do you believe they should wait till the offseason to do that? But the only thing with that now, if Mike Sullivan does good, they might just keep it until next season and keep him through next season anyway. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about the offense coordinator position and who you would have hired, or do you believe that the hirings were good, where they just promoted, not hiring, just promoted their guys already? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the Matt Canada firing. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well. If you like Steelers content, analysis, reports, like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post that next Steelers video. I cover everything: breaking news, rumors, highlights, reports, analysis, reactions, game breakdowns, film breakdowns, everything of that nature. I cover it all. So turn on notifications for this channel so you never miss out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.